She told me, I'm trying to understand why I find things beautiful. She said also that she would tell him, I'm trying to understand whether all that beauty was wasted on you. She said, I told him, look, but I was asking him to see in a world where he had no eyes. There were moments when she thought he understood. She said, I didn't know we were using the same words to speak different languages. I think she did, and just didn't want to admit it. Like that time, she told me, when she asked him to read Yeats. Had I the heavens embroidered cloths, and wrought with golden and silver light, the blue and the dim and the dark cloths, of night and light and the half-light, I would spread the cloths under your feet. But I, being poor, have only my dreams. I've spread my dreams under your feet. Tread softly, because you tread on my dreams. And then she asked him, does that make you feel anything? And he said, yeah, it's that last line, I guess. That's something. And she made herself believe that he understood. But I don't think he truly did. Not in the way she wanted him to. I'm not sure if it's something one can learn. I think maybe it's like being born colorblind. And it's no one's fault that every time she tried to explain, she felt like she was describing a color he couldn't see. Like this. She told me she found this in a box of broken things, and it was rough and dull and quite ugly. But when she held it up, the light created these rivers and worlds inside it, and she paid $1.50 for it because it was useless and beautiful. She told me, I think he was amused, but uncomprehending. She wanted to ask him, don't you understand the power of these beautiful trivialities? Don't they move something inside you? Don't they make you glad to be alive? She never did ask. I think because she thought she already knew his answer and was afraid of hearing it. She said, I find people very beautiful too. Not all the time, but sometimes. Sometimes. She watches the people and wonders where they are going and what they are thinking, who they love and who loves them. All these questions float through her mind, and sometimes she stumbles across perfect moments, and in them she finds the answers. She likes the colorful noise of street shops too, to move without purpose through crowds of purposeful people. She tells me, I stop to look at the small, bright things, and most of the time, I don't even want them. It's enough just that other people do, she says, as if their mere existence is proof that she is not alone in love with beautiful and useless things. Like flowers, are they not the epitome of beautiful triviality? She is amazed by people who can buy flowers for themselves. She hears someone say, these will look nice in my room, and she thinks that is beautiful. He couldn't buy flowers, he mentioned before. Hay fever. And she said that it was fine. What would she do with flowers anyway? Maybe one day she will wake up and think, some flowers will look nice in my room, and she will love herself enough to go out and buy some. For now, she will just look at the people who can. She tells me about a street of red brick houses where the trees were in bloom and everything was quiet and soft. She said, I felt like an intruder, but I wanted to stay. When she was a child, she dreamt of a house, her house, and the house had a garden, and the garden had a tree, and the tree was her tree. She stands in front of the houses with flowering trees and imagines that she is in a dream, and the house is her house, and the tree is her tree, and she is coming home. She tells me, it's almost like the trees are a signboard, you know? Like they're there to say, these people are happy, and their growing and blooming is a blessing. I know that's not true, and the people in those houses probably aren't any happier than you, or me, or him. But beautiful things aren't always true, and I still want them anyway. She told me she feels alone in this place away from home. She tells herself the reason she is lonely is because she is away from home, and there's somewhere else she's to go back to where she will feel she belongs. She said, then I return home and feel alone still, and I realize that maybe there's nowhere for me to belong. She tells me the Portuguese have a word for that. Saudade. It's a beautiful word, she says, maybe her favorite word. It means a vague and constant desire for something that does not and probably cannot exist. She thinks she has a home she belongs to, just not in this time or on this earth. Still, she says, this world is a beautiful place to live, even in exile. Terrible and beautiful, sometimes both at the same time. She thinks it is beautiful how stubborn life is, how life exists where it isn't supposed to, tries even unnoticed. Sometimes she envies that simple tenacity to survive that nature possesses, that one-mindedness, almost innocent in its ignorance, because how could you ask anything else of a bird or a plant? She wants flowers in her room and a tree in her garden. She wants to surround herself with that irrepressible thriving and growing so she can forget that there are things more complex, like sadness, like joy, like hope, like despair. I think maybe more of us share that desire than we admit, and where life cannot thrive, where humanity has choked it, humanity recreates it. Look, she tells me. That's beautiful, I say. And she replies, yes, but isn't it sad too? Part of the beauty of life is that it doesn't last. We try and capture it, but all we end up with is an undying corpse, a dead image of what was once alive. It's better than nothing though, isn't it? Is it really? She asks. I don't know. She tells me, I'm afraid. I'm afraid that one day I'll stop seeing beauty. She's afraid that since she was a child, there have been cataracts slowly clouding the lens of her soul, and one day she will wake up and see the world through eyes of apathy. I want to tell her that that won't happen. I want to tell her that there's too much beauty to be blind to in this world, and every time she will stop to watch it unfold, just as she always has. But for every beautiful thing she stops to see, I think of all the people that pass it by. I think of him, and who am I to say that one day she won't be one of those people? Who am I to say that one day I won't be one of those people? So I don't say anything, but she sees it in my eyes. She is quiet for a while, then she speaks, softly. There's a song, she tells me. There is also a prayer. I watch her, and she closes her eyes, and she prays. Don't let me lose my wonder. Don't let me lose my wonder.